but may not think deeply about the relationship between psychology and personal finance. While many believe managing money is purely logical, it's often emotions, habits, and mindset that shape our financial choices. Have you ever wondered why people panic sell during a market crash, or why someone might blow their budget on impulse buys when they are stressed? These behaviors are not just random, they are rooted in psychology. By understanding these patterns, we can take control of our financial decisions and work toward achieving stability and success. Let us begin this journey by exploring the fascinating interplay between mindset and money. My topic, behavioral finance, bridging psychology and investment success towards the investment strategies. Psychology plays a profound role in our financial decisions. Emotions like fear, greed, or even excitement can drive us to make decisions, both good and bad. For instance, fear of losing money might prevent someone from investing in a promising opportunity, while greed might lead others into high risk investments, chasing big payoff. Understanding why we behave this way is critical. Psychology matters in personal finance because our decisions are often more emotional than logical. By recognizing these emotional influences, we can take steps to make better financial choices. Main domains of psychology in personal finance. Here are the main domains that we are going to discuss about in this presentation. The behavioral science, we are deeply and discuss about the behavioral science, emotional impact on financial management, decision making, and goal setting, short term versus long term, thinking, investment strategies, and diversification. So, behavioral finance, a subfield of psychology and finance, examines how emotions, biases, and cognitive errors impact financial decisions. Overconfidence leads to excessive trading or risky investments. Loss aversion, fear of loss, make investors hold into underperforming assets. Herd mentality trends without analyzing fundamentals. Emotional impact on financial management, such as fear, greed, and stress, significantly affect financial planning. Stress for poor money management, affecting mental health and productivity. Greed can cause impulsive investments without adequate research. Psychology influences how individuals set financial goals and prioritize them. A psychology preference for immediate gratification may hinder long-term wealth and accumulation. Psychological comfort with risk determines asset allocation and investments. Investment plan, regular, disciplined investments counter impulsive behavior. Psychology emphasizes spreading risk to avoid panic during market downturns, financial education, and awareness. Understanding psychology tendencies helps in creating informed, rational strategies for managing wealth. Practical implementation is financial management and investments, tailoring plans based on individual psychological profiles, mindful spending, advisory services. By integrating psychological insights with financial planning, individuals can develop effective strategies to achieve financial stability and long term wealth. And next, we are going to discuss about exploring the intersection of money, mindset, and money. Mindset plays a vital role in how we approach money. For example, a scarcity mindset might lead to excessive saving at the expense of quality of life, while abundance mindset could cause overspending and poor financial discipline. Fear of loss and the allure of big rewards often cloud judgment, even for experienced investors. Behavioral economics blends psychology and economics to explain why people make irrational financial decisions. Our money mindset is shaped by factors like upbringing, culture, and life experiences. For example, if someone grew up in financial scarcity, they might adopt a herding mentality or avoid risk altogether. Emotions like fear or overconfidence can skew investment decisions. During market downturns, fear leads to panic selling, while during booms, overconfidence can result in overinvesting. Recognizing these patterns help us make more rational choices. Exploring the intersection of mindset and money. The topic lies at the heart of financial well-being, the intersection of mindset and money. This intersection is powerful because how we think about money profoundly shapes how we earn, spend, save, and invest. Let us explore our belief, emotion, and attitudes about money, influence our financial decisions, and what we can do to build a healthy money mindset. Mindset is the lens through which we view the world, including our finances. It determines whether we approach money with fear, confidence, or abundance. Two people with the same income can have vastly different financial outcomes, not because of what they earn, but because of how they think about money. For example, one person might prioritize saving for the future, building an emergency fund, and investing in their education, while the other might focus on spending to maintain a certain lifestyle. The difference lies in their money mindset. How many of you believe that financial success depends primarily on only on hard work? Someone believe it is luck or circumstances. Some may believe your approach to the money. So, mindset is the foundation of financial success. A healthy money mindset enables us to make intentional spending decisions, save for future without fear, investment in opportunities with confidence. Remember, it is not how much you earn, but how much you think about and manage money that determines your financial well-being. As you reflect on your own money mindset, the impact of emotions on financial decision making is profound. Emotions such as fear, grief, stress, and happiness often overshadow rational thought, leading to both positive and negative financial outcomes. Let me elaborate with an example. Imagine an investor during a market downturn. Fear of losing more money may drive them to sell their stocks, locking in losses rather than waiting for the market to recover. This behavior, known as panic selling, is a classic emotional reaction. It demonstrates how fear can detail long-term strategies. On the other hand, greed can lead to risky investments. For instance, during a bull market, an investor might overestimate their knowledge and take on unnecessary risks, expecting the higher returns. This is common behavior during financial bubbles. Stress and anxiety. Financial stress can arise from debt or sudden expenses, clouding judgment and leading to hasty decisions. Someone under stress might make impulsive purchases or delay necessary payments, compounding their financial problems. Positive emotions can also impact financial decisions. Winning a small investment may create overconfidence, leading someone to believe they are invisible in the market. This could result in larger, riskier bets. The key to mitigating the impact of emotion is awareness and self regulation. Techniques like mindfulness, budgeting, and seeking professional advice can help us to make rational decisions even in emotionally charged situations. Recognizing emotional triggers early can prevent poor financial choices. Now, we are deeply in discuss about the personal finance. Personal finance refers to the management of an individual's or household financial activities, including budgeting, saving, investing, and planning for future financial needs. It encompasses the strategies and practice used to ensure the financial stability, growth, and security. First of all, the personal finance we have planned are budgeting and expense management. Budgeting is the foundation of personal finance. It involves tracking income and expense and making decisions about where to allocate resources. The goal is to ensure that spending is controlled and that there is enough left for savings and investment. The person who budget their whole income for their expenses is not enabled for the saving goal. So the key point is to highlight is ensuring expenses do not exceed income and the importance of setting aside a portion for savings. Next one is debt. Debt is often a significant part of personal finance. We are all with the same place, understanding how to manage debt, such as credit card debt, loans, and mortgages, is essential for financial health. It is important to know how to minimize high interest debts and use credit wisely. To avoid debt, avoid high interest loans, pay off credits and card balances fully each month to avoid interest. Prioritize paying off high interest debt. Next one is emergency fund. An emergency fund is a savings buffer that provides financially security in case of unexpected events such as job loss, medical emergencies, or urgent repairs. It's typically recommended to set aside 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in an easily accessible account. Fourth one is savings and investing for the future. Saving money is essential, but investing helps grow wealth. Investment strategies could range from low risk options like fixed deposits and bonds to higher risk options such as equities and mutual funds. The key is understanding the risk return trade off and investing based on one's financial goals and time horizon. A person in their 20s or 30s might prefer investing in equities or mutual funds to build wealth over time. However, someone close to retirement age may prefer lower risk investments like bonds or fixed deposits. The investment types, which we already discussed, are stocks, mutual funds, bonds, retirement accounts that should be engaged. And the next one is insurance and risk management. Insurance helps protect individuals from significant financial losses due to unforeseen events. Life insurance, health insurance, property insurance are the most common types which we use in our day-to-day activity. Health insurance covers medical costs because we are not able to afford the total medical cost uh, in this modern world, reducing the financial burden of sudden health issues. And the term life insurance provide financial security to dependents in case of premature death. A well-renowned personal finance strategy includes ensuring that you have adequate insurance to cover life, health, and property risk. Next one is tax planning. Tax planning is a crucial part of personal finance where individuals try to minimize tax liabilities through legal means such as deductions, exemptions, and tax efficient investments. You can claim deductions for investment up to 1.5 lakhs instruments like PPF, ELSS, and life insurance premiums. And HRA allowance, if you live in a rental house, a portion of your rent may be eligible for tax deductions. Tax efficient investment planning helps individuals reduce the tax burden and optimize saving. And the next one is retirement planning. Planning for retirement involves assessing how much you need to save to maintain your desired lifestyle after retirement. Retirement accounts like the Employment Provident Fund, National Pension Scheme, and Public Provident Fund play a key role in securing retirement income. Retirement planning includes setting aside money in tax advantage accounts and starting early to take advantage of compounding. The next one is wealth management. Wealth management involves a comprehensive approach to managing investment, estate planning, and tax strategies. It is typically more relevant for individuals with higher net worth, but is an important concept to understand for anyone aiming to grow wealth over time. A high net worth individual may have a portfolio that includes stock, real estate, alternative investments, and tax planning strategies. Regular portfolio reviews and adjustments based on changes in financial goals and market conditions and life events are critical. And next, we are discussing about the psychological concepts in personal finance. This is the main important concept which I'm interested to discuss with the people who are here. Psychological concepts in personal finance are crucial to understanding how individuals make financial decisions. Our behavior and emotions heavily influence how we handle money in our day-to-day life, often in ways that are not entirely rational. Personal finance is not only about numbers, but also about understanding human behavior, emotions, and cognitive biases that shape financial decisions. Some key points in concepts in personal finance are: first one is mental accounting. Mental accounting refers to the tendency to treat money differently depending on its source or intended use. If this is leads to suboptimal financial decisions, people might have separate budget in their minds for different types of expenses, like one for a vacation fund, someone for some more amount for groceries, and another for dining out in the weekend. This can lead to spend them freely in one category, even if their overall finances are tight. For instance, someone may receive a tax refund and mentally treat it as a bonus money, using it for luxury items or a vacation rather than saving or paying off debt, even though it's just a part of their overall income. So, the psychological impact of mental accounting leads to people failing to see their financial problems. They may end up overspending in one area while neglecting other important financial goals. The second one is time consistency. Personal present bias is the tendency to favor immediate rewards over long-term benefits. This bias can significantly affect personal financial decisions, especially when it comes to saving and investing for the future. You might choose to buy a new gadget or indulge in an immediate luxury rather than saving or investing for future needs, even when you know that saving is more prudent choice in the long run. This bias explains why people procrastinate on saving for retirement or fail to stick to long-term financial goals. The allure of short-term gratification often outweighs the benefits of long-term planning. Next one is loss aversion. This is the main topic we're going to deal with. It refers to the psychological phenomenon where losses are perceived as more painful than an equivalent gain is pleasurable. People tend to be more motivated to avoid losses than to acquire gains. If an investor portfolio drops in value, they may irrationally hold on to losing investments rather than selling them and cutting losses, even if selling would make more sense financially. A person might hesitate to spend money on insurance or a long term investment because the immediate cost feels like a loss, even though the long term gain is significant. So, the psychological impact of loss aversion can lead to suboptimal decisions, such as avoiding investment risks that could lead to long-term growth or holding on to bad investments for too long, hoping for a turnaround. And the next one is overconfidence bias. Overconfidence bias is the tendency for individuals to overestimate their knowledge, skills, ability to make accurate predictions, particularly in areas like investing and financial decision making. A person might believe they can time the stock market and make higher return than average, even without the necessary expertise. This can lead to risky investments and losses when things don't go as predicted. Similarly, a person may overestimate their ability to stick to a budget or save money, leading to overspending or missed financial goals. So, the psychological impact of overconfidence can cause people to make more risky investments or underestimate the complexities of personal finance, leading to poor decision making and significant financial losses. The endowment effect is a psychological phenomenon where people tend to place a higher value on things they own simply because they own them. This can lead to poor financial decision, especially when selling assets. If someone owns a car that they no longer need it or that has lost value, they may overvalue it and set an unreasonably high asking price because they are emotionally attached to it. As a result, they may delay selling or fail to sell it at all, even they could benefit from the extra cash. So the psychological impact of endowment effect can cause individuals to hold on to investment or positions that are no longer useful or valuable, which prevents them from making rational decisions such as selling depreciating assets or liquidating unnecessary items. And the next one is status quo bias. Status quo bias is the tendency to prefer things to remain same rather than making a change, even when change might be beneficial. Many people stay with their current bank account, investment account, or insurance provider simply because it's familiar and they don't want to take risk or they don't want to go through effort of switching, even if there are better options available with lower fees or higher returns. So the status by bias can lead to individuals missing out on opportunities to improve their financial situation because they avoid making changes or taking action. This can result in stagnation and financial inefficiency. Next one is anchoring bias, which occurs when people rely too heavily on the first piece of information they receive. When making decisions, even it is relevant or irrelevant or arbitrary. If you see a shirt priced at rupees 2000 and then a similar shirt priced at rupees 1500, you may perceive the second shirt as a great deal, even if 1,500 is still relatively expensive compared to other options. In investing, anchoring buyers might cause someone to hold on to a stock that they purchase at a much higher price, expecting it to return to its original value, even if market conditions have changed and the stock no longer aligns with the financial goals. So, anchoring can distort decision making, causing individuals to influence by irrelevant information and fail to make rational choices in their financial plan. The next one is herd behavior, refers to the tendency of individuals to follow the actions of a larger group, often due to desire to conform or avoid missing out. In financial markets, herd behavior can manifest when many people buy a particular stock or investment simply because everyone else is doing so, creating bubbles. The cryptocurrency boom is an example where many people invested in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, often without fully understanding the risk involved, simply because others were doing it. The psychological impact of the herd behavior can lead to poor investment choices, market bubbles, and panic selling when they turn negative. It's important for individuals to make independent financial decisions based on their own financial goals rather than following the crowd. And the next one is framing effect occurs when people decisions are influenced by the way information is presented rather than content of the information itself. If an information a loan with 0% interest for the first 6 months may appear more attractive than one with a 6 months deferred because of the way the information is framed. The framing effect can lead individuals to make biased financial decisions based on how choices are presented to them. Marketers and financial institutions often use these techniques to influence consumer behavior. And the next one is scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset refers to the belief that there is not enough money or resources to go around, leading individuals to feel anxious or fearful about their financial situation. A person with a scarcity mindset might overspend on times that seem like good deals because they feel they need to take advantage of every opportunity, fearing they will miss the out of limited resources. The scarcity mindset can cause individuals to make impulsive financial decisions out of fear of missing out or not having enough, leading to poor budgeting and overspending. Now we are going to deeply discuss about the loss aversion. The picture shows what it does. When we got some money, we know that how cruel, I guess. When we lost anything, oh, such a cruel world. They are doing something for me like that, we discuss. So the loss aversion has a great impact on financial decision. Why? Because loss aversion often result in greater risk aversion. People may avoid, already we go through the loss aversion, but the great thing is people may avoid investing in stock market or other potentially high return assets because of the potential for loss, even though the long-term return could outweigh the risk. A person might keep all their savings in a savings account with low interest rate because they fear losing money in the stock market, even though their savings are losing purchasing power due to inflation. And the next one is the next impact strategy of loss aversion is suboptimal financial strategies. Suboptimal financial strategies. Loss aversion leads people to make suboptimal decisions like holding on to losing investments or avoiding good financial decision because they are worried about losses. This prevents them from taking actions that could improve their financial in the long term. A person might delay selling an underperforming asset like a mutual fund because of the emotional pain of realizing a loss. As a result, they miss out on better investment opportunities. And the next, a person may continue to invest in a low interest savings account out of habit because of the idea changing banks or investment vehicles and possibly facing losses is uncomfortable. So now how to overcome loss aversion in personal finance? The education and the awareness is the first priority. Why? Because how we understand the loss aversion is a natural human response, and acknowledging its impact on financial decision making is the first step towards overcoming it. By recognizing when emotional reactions are affecting financial choices, individuals can take a more rational approach to their finances. And the next one is use of financial advices. Seeking objective financial advice from professionals can help counteract loss aversion. Financial advisors are trained to make decisions based on data, not emotions, and can help clients to make more rational investment decisions. And the next one is diversification. Diversifying investments helps reduce the impact of loss aversion. By holding a well-diversified portfolio, an investor can avoid the emotional stress of large swings in a single investment and avoid making panic-driven decisions. And the next one is reframing losses, encouraging people to think of losses in a different light can help mitigate the emotional pain. For instance, focusing on a potential long-term benefits of cutting losses early rather than the immediate discomfort of selling at a loss. Setting clear financial goals and sticking to predetermined investment strategy can help reduce emotional decision making. Using rules like buy and hold or regularly reviewing portfolios can prevent knee-jerk reactions driven by the loss aversion. And the next one is confirmation bias. Already we discussed in short, this should be in brief, where individuals tend to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information that confirms their pre-existing belief or hypothesis, while giving disproportionately less consideration to alternate viewpoints or contradictory evidence. In personal finance, confirmation bias can lead individuals to make flawed financial decisions, as they are more likely to focus on information that supports their current financial strategies or belief, even if it is not best course of action. How confirmation bias manifests in personal finance. If an individual has invested in a particular stock or cryptocurrency, they may allow only follow news sources that support the idea and the asset will continue to rise while disregarding new points that to risk or signs of a downturn. An investor who has invested heavily in a particular technology stock may only read optimistic reports about the stock future's potential, avoiding or dismissing negative news like potential regulatory concerns, bad quarterly results, or industry challenges. And the next one is people might resist learning new information that contradicts their current financial strategies or beliefs. This is the common areas like budgeting, debt management, and retirement plan. A person who has always prioritized savings in a savings account with low interest rate may ignore information about the better investment opportunities that could offer higher returns. Confirmation bias can also manifest in how many individuals choose the financial advisors or the advices they follow. If an individual has a strong belief in a particular financial strategy, they may seek out financial advisors or resources that support that view rather than considering diverse opinions or expect advice that may offer alternative strategies. And the next one is confirmation belief about depth. Can lead people to hold on to erroneous belief about debt. For instance, someone might have a negative view of credit cards or loans because they associate with financial problems. They may ignore personal finance advice or example that show how smart strategic borrowing can create long-term wealth. A person might believe that all debt is bad and ignore advice about the value of leveraging good debt to build wealth, student loan or mortgage or the good debt. This bias could lead them to avoid investing in opportunities that could improve their financial situation. And next slide and the next picture, and detailing discussing about a herd mentality. The picture shows that many of the people are doing the same thing in their real life. Be careful when you blindly follow the masses. Sometimes the M is silent. So now you refer. Refers to the tendency of individuals to adapt the behaviors, beliefs, and actions of a large group, often in the absence of independent reasoning or critical thinking. This phenomenon is driven by the human desire to fit in with others, avoid standing out, or simply follow the actions of the majority, especially in uncertain or complex situations. Herd mentality can have profound consequences, leading people to make irrational financial decisions based on the actions or belief of others rather than sound reasoning or individual analysis. Negative effects of herd mentality. Why it is not safe? Because overvaluation valuation of assets. Following the herd can lead to the overvaluation of assets, as seen in the speculative bubbles like the housing bubble, tech bubble, or cryptocurrency booms, when prices are too quickly due to herd behavior, they often exceed the true value the asset leading to the eventual market corrections or crashes. Irrational investment decisions leads to buying high and selling low. The exact opposite of what successful investing principles suggest. People tend to buy into markets at their peak, only to panic sell when prices drop, locking in losses. The mixed opportunity often follow the herd and invest in what is popular while ignoring opportunities and more stable. People avoid the opportunities in the stable position. They used to part the shares which is going to give immediate profit or immediate gain. So the less exciting investment that could offer better long-term returns have not been considered. This can lead to a missed opportunity for wealth building in undervalued assets. So now, how to avoid this type of herd mentality in personal finance? First, we have to develop critical thinking. If encourage individuals to think critically about financial decisions and conduct their own research rather than simply following the crowd. Independent analysis of investment opportunities and financial choices is essential for avoiding the pitfalls of herd mentality. Next one is diversification helps reduce the impact of following the herd in a particular asset class or sector. By spreading investment across different asset class, sectors, and region, investors can avoid overexposure to speculative bubbles driven by herd behavior. And the next one is maintaining a focus on long-term financial goals rather than short-term market trends can help mitigate the effects of herd mentality. It is important to stay disciplined and avoid making decisions based solely on short-term market movement or current trends. And next one is seeking advice from the financial advisors or experts can provide a major objective perspective and reduce the likelihood of falling into herd behavior. Professionals can help investors evaluate the risks and merits of different financial decisions. And the next slide explains about the hyperbolic discounting, the tendency for people to have a strong preference for immediate payoff relative to later payoff, where the tendency increases the closer to the present both payoff or. The next slide shows the hyperbolic discounting in detail. The picture shows even life is uncertain, so I eat dessert first. So what is that? What the slide come to say is psychological phenomenon. Hyperbolic discounting is a human psychological phenomenon that explains how people tend to favor smaller, immediate rewards over larger, delayed rewards. In other words, individuals are more inclined to make decisions based on the short-term gratification, even when long-term benefits would be more advantageous. The term hyperbolic refers to the mathematical function that describes this kind of discounting, where the value of future rewards decreases more rapidly the sooner the decisions is made, at a slower rate and the future reward is further delayed. What are the consequences of hyperbolic discounting in personal finance? Hyperbolic discounting makes it difficult for individuals to save adequately for their future, particularly for long-term goals like retirement, healthcare, and children education. This can lead to financial insecurity later in life. And the next one is people may accumulate debt because they prioritize immediate consumption over saving. They don't want to take risk. Their desire for instant gratification leads to borrowing in the present, which can result in high interest payment and long-term financial stress. And the next one is by prioritizing short-term rewards over long-term investment, individuals may miss out on the benefits of early investment, such as compound interest or long-term capital appreciation. And the next one is stress and regret. As people indulge in short-term pleasures without considering the long-term consequences, they often experience regret or stress later on when they realize they have compromised their future financial stability for momentary satisfaction. So now we have to know how to overcome the hyperbolic discounting in personal finance. People can use commitment devices. Commitment devices help them to reduce the temptation of short-term rewards. For example, setting up automatic deductions to a savings or retirement account can help ensure that money is set aside for the future before it can be spent impulsively. And the next one is breaking goals into smaller, When long-term goals feel too distant, breaking them down into smaller, more immediate steps can make them feel more tangible and achievable. For instance, setting up monthly savings goals rather than focusing on a large distance retirement amount can help reduce the impact of hyperbolic discounting. And the next one is immediate gratification. Immediate gratification, providing individuals with ways to reward themselves in the short term for long term goals can help. For example, setting up a reward system where small rewards are given for meeting long term savings or investment goals can help keep motivation high. And the next one is educating individuals about the power of compound interest and the long term benefits of saving and investing early can help reduce the preference for immediate consumption. Understanding the future value of money and how small sacrifices today can lead to significant rewards in the future is the key to overcoming hyperbolic discounting. And the next important thing is behavioral nudges. Using behavioral nudges can help guide individuals towards better financial choices. To automatically enroll in retirement plans or setting an opt-out system where individuals must actively choose not to save can encourage better financial habits. And the most important topic of the session is emotional spending and money management. What is emotional spending? Why we are pushing? Many of them knows that emotional spending refers to the act of purchasing goods or services in response to emotional status or feelings rather than for practical, need based reasons. This type of spending is often impulsive and driven by emotions like stress, anxiety, boredom, happiness, or even anger. Emotional spending can lead to financial strain because it disrupts national budgeting and often leads to purchasing items that are not necessary or they are beyond one's means. Psychological drivers behind emotional spending. The first one is retail therapy. Retail therapy is a well-known term that refers to a shopping. Nowadays, we are not going for the grocery shops to buy grocery. We are going to malls. So when we go to a grocery shop means we only spend 2,000 or something about 3,000 for a month. Even the groceries move high. But now we are going to malls rather than we have purchased more than the items we need. So we spend more amount in the malls. So these are the retail therapy and the negative conditions such as stress, sadness, or boredom. People often buy items they don't need in the hopes that it will lift their mood. A person has had a rough day at work and instead of addressing the cause of their stress, decide to visit a small or shop online for new clothes, gadgets, or makeup, believing it will make them feel better. The satisfaction of the purchase is often short lived, and they may regret it later when they realize they have spent money they did not intend to. And the next one is impulse buying. Emotional spending often involves impulse buying, where an individual makes unplanned purchases that are not aligned with their financial goals or needs. These purchases are often driven by emotions rather than practical consideration. A person might walk into a store feeling anxious or bored and pick up items that catch their eye, like snacks, gadgets, or clothing, without thinking about whether they need these items or if they fit within their budget. They might feel a temporary emotional lift from making the purchase, but later they regret it. And the next emotional spending is spending to boost self esteem. Some individuals engage in emotional spending as a way to compensate for feeling of low self-esteem or inadequacy. Buying luxury goods or status symbols can provide a temporary sense of validation. A person feeling insecure or inadequate might buy an expensive handbag, luxury car, or designer clothing in an attempt to feel more successful or worthy. While their purchases may elevate their mood eventually, their emotional boost is often short lived and may lead to financial distress over time. And spent during happy or exciting times is not always linked to negative emotions. People can also engage in excessive spending when they are feeling overly excited, happy, or celebratory. The desire to reward oneself or others can lead to purchases that are not planned or budgeted. After a promotion or personal success, a person might go out and splurge on an extravagant dinner a new car, or a vacation, even though they can't truly afford these luxuries at the moment. Their feeling of joy and celebration leads to overspending, even if they don't need the items or experiences. The next one is shopping as a distraction. Emotional spending can sometimes be a coping mechanism to avoid dealing with difficult emotions or situations. Shopping becomes a distraction that temporarily takes a person's mind off their problems. A person going through a breakup may engage in emotional spending by buying clothes, electronics, or home decor, trying to distract themselves from the pain and sadness they feel. The spending might give them temporary relief, but does not address the root cause of their emotions. The next one is using money to soothe stress. Some individuals use shopping as a way to manage or cope with stress. In this case, spending money become a way to reduce the discomfort associated with the high levels of stress or anxiety. A person dealing with a stressful work environment might spend large amount of money on items that provide a comfort or instant gratification like food, delivery, gadgets, unnecessary subscriptions. Although this may bring temporary relief, it can worsen their financial situation and leave them feeling guilty afterward. So, some of the most common psychological factors which are inducing the emotional spending is immediate gratification. People are weird to seek immediate pleasure or relief from emotional discomfort. Emotional spending provides an instant sense of satisfaction, even it comes at the cost of long-term financial stability. And the next one is escapism. For many individuals, shopping or spending serve as a way to escape from unpleasant emotions such as anxiety, sadness, or frustrations. The act of purchasing something can serve as a distraction, offering a temporary emotional high. And the next one is low self esteem or insecurity. Individuals with low self esteem may use emotional spending as a way to feel better about themselves. Purchasing items that are seen prestigious or high status can temporarily elevate feelings of inadequacy or worthless. Social comparison, seeing peers, finance, family members, or celebrities engaging in conspicuous consumption can trigger emotional spending in an attempt to keep up of it. When there is a conflict between what a person wants and what they know is best for them, cognitive dissonance occurs. To resolve this tension, they may justify the emotional spending as a way to make themselves feel better in the moment, even if it goes against their long-term financial goals. And the main cause of emotional spending is advertisement and marketing campaigns often play an emotion using tactics to create a desire for the product based on how they make us feel. Retail therapy is a term frequently used in advertisements to connect shopping with emotional well-being. So consequences of emotional spending. What are all the consequences happens if we are done at emotional spending means increased debt. It creates an increase credit card. Someone used their credit cards more and more and got many loans. Individuals may not have the funds available to make these purchases. Over this time, this can lead to high interest charges and a growing financial burden. And the next one is habitual emotional spending can distort a person's budget and lead to lack of savings. This can affect their ability to plan for future goals for buying a home, retirement, or an emergency fund. After engaging in emotional spending, many people feel guilty or regretful about their impulsive purchases. This can create a negative cycle where individuals continue to shop to cope with their feelings of guilt, perpetuating the emotional spending habit. Emotional spending cloud judgment, reduce an individual's ability to make sound financial decisions. Instead of evaluating the necessity of purchase, the person is driven by emotion rather than logic, leading to impulsive and often irrational financial decision. Why logical decisions, financial decisions are difficult? The logical financial decisions making often collides with our innate tendencies, and the external pressure lead to less an optimal outcome. The slide explores the three challenges: cognitive overload, immediate gratification, and the social and cultural pressures. The cognitive overload. In today's world, we are bombarded with an overwhelming amount of financial information, saving plan, credit schemes, and more. While having information is good, too much of it can lead to decision fatigue. Imagine trying to pick the best mutual fund for your retirement with hundreds of options and endless online reviews. You may feel paralyzed by choice. leading to indecision or reliance on simplistic heuristic like picking the first one you see or following a friend's advice. Streamline your choices by defining clear criteria beforehand, like focusing on funds with a specific risk profile or consulting a financial advisor for guidance. The second one is immediate gratification. Humans are wired to seek instant rewards, which often subtags long-term goals. This concept known as present bias explains why we prioritize short-term pleasures over future stability. Technique like 24 hours rule, where you wait a day before making non-essential purchase or visualizing long-term goals, such as debt-free future, can help counteract this bias. Excuse me. And the next one is social cultural pressures. We often feel compelled to match the spending habits of our peers. A phenomenon driven social comparison theory. Picture a young professional who buys an expensive car because their colleagues drive luxurious vehicles. Even though it strains their budget, the desire to keep up with the Jones can lead to overspending and financial stress. Focus on your personal financial goals rather than external appearance. Building an emergency fund or investing in education has more enduring value than fleeting status symbols. So, understanding these obstacles help us to take proactive steps to align our financial choices with our long-term goals. Automating savings, setting specific financial targets, and limiting exposures to social and cultural pressures are some effective ways to overcome these challenges. Let us remember, financial discipline is not about denying ourselves entirely, but rather about prioritizing wisely to build a secure future. How emotions impact key money areas. These are the most important emotions that we know. Thus, the first factors influence spending, maybe the emotional reverse, stress. Now we are discussing many things about the stress, boredom, low life self-esteem or happiness. It impacts the stress. Spending impact leads to impulse buying, retail therapy, and overspending. A person, for example, a person who is stressed after a long day at work buys unnecessary things online for a dopamine boost, later regretting the purchase. And the next one is saving. Saving, fear of uncertainty or overconfidence in future earnings. Impact either leads to hoarding money out of fear or falling to save due to procrastination. Someone might avoid saving because they feel overly confident that their income will be increased soon. And the third one is investing. Investing is a greed, fear, or herd mentality. Once they are having fear on their own life, they want to invest more and more money in the same thing what they decide. So the emotional impact decision can lead to poor investment choices such as panic selling during market crash. Investors might follow the crowd and buy overpriced stocks out of fear of missing out. And the next one is borrowing or debt, the most important concept in our day-to-day life. That those are all in our day-to-day life. Nobody is here without any debts. Everyone is having any vehicle debt or any loan, personal loans or any car loans and home loans. Everything they have been dealt with. These loans are emotional reverse. When emotions, when we want to be in the good status in the society means we want to afford something greater than the people who are near to us. So the borrowing debt creates a stress, financial insecurity, or impulsivity. It can lead to high interest debt or unnecessary borrowing to meet emotional needs. A person might take out a loan for an extravagant vacation to equip with the payers. The last one is budgeting that should not be available here. Procrastination or avoidance of financial planning due to fear of confronting spending habits. Poor budgeting leads to financial instability. Someone may delay creating a budget because they feel anxious about seeing how much they actually spend. Psychological impact of debt. The most important concept which I want to discuss today is psychological impact of debt. What are all the impact that creates, or what are all the consequences that are dealt with the debt? So the picture shows how the debt creates. Once we borrow a thing again and again to avoid those things, we can again and again we borrow many of the loans. Debt can feel like a useful tool to fulfill dreams, but it can also turn into a burden that weighs heavily on our mental well-being. Today, we will explore how debt impacts our psychological health and decision making and relationship, along with strategies to manage it better. The factors that influence debt are stress and anxiety. Debt often creates financial pressure, leading to constant worry about repayment and late fees and future financial security. The impact of debt is a chronic stress can lead to insomnia, irritability, and even physical health issues can cause for the person who is having more debts in their regular life. A young professional burdened by student loan may experience sleepless nights worrying about how to meet both monthly repayments and living expenses. And the second important factor about the debt is guilt and shame. People often feel guilty about accumulating debt or ashamed to talk about their financial struggles due to societal stigma. The impact it can lead to secrecy, avoidance of social interactions, and strained relationship. Someone maxing out their credit card may feel embarrassed to admit their financial struggles to friends or family. And the next important debt activity is decision paralysis. When overwhelmed by debt, individuals may struggle to make sound financial decisions, feeling stuck and uncertain about the future. It impact lead to the procrastination, avoidance of budgeting, or poor financial choices like taking more high interest loans. A person with mounting credit card might delay creating a repayment plan, worsening the situation. And next one is relationship strain. That often creates conflicts in relationship due to differences in financial priorities, spending habits, or repayment responsibilities. The impact of relationship strain can lead to argument, loss of trust, or even divorce in extreme cases. Day-to-day life of the family, most of the families are even got divorced. Some of them go for a suicide because of the longer and longer debts. When they buy a new debt means again they buy a debt to avoid the beginning debts. So couples frequently argue when one partner's spending habits lead to significant debt without the other's knowledge. And the next one is impact on mental health. Prolonged financial strain from debt has been linked to mental health issues like depression and anxiety disorders. A study found that individuals with high income ratios are more likely to experience symptoms of depression. So, what are all the strategies now? See, till now we are seeing the what are all the emotional triggers we are facing in the day-to-day life. Now we are coming to a conclusion or suggestions. What are all the strategies to reduce the financial decisions in our day-to-day life? We are having lots and lots of pressures to decide more and more things, but how to avoid the financial stress. See, psychology and the personal finance. Our psychology only decide the things how we are today, how we are going to be in the future. That should be decided through our psychology. So, what are all the strategies to be reduced? What are all the strategies to be followed to reduce emotional financial decisions? So, these are all the strategies which are listed below. Understanding the emotional triggers, automate financial process, use a budget, delay major decisions, seek professional advice, educate yourself, mindfulness, emotional regulation. Now we are going to discuss about in detail about these strategies. Why? Because Madam, am I audible? Sorry for the interruption.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, madam. Thank you. Thank you. Because here we are receiving a power cut because of over rain. So I'll continue my lecture now. So continue with the topic strategies to reduce emotional financial decision. Recognizing the emotional triggers encourage self-reflection to recognize situations where emotions drive decisions. Do you shop online when feeling stressed? Identifying this pattern is the first step. Track spending and write down when you make certain purchases. This helps identify emotions and spending habits. Second one is pause and reflect. When we have to give a stop for the thing. We have to give a space for the thing that should be happening in our day-to-day life. We are going to take a decision. We have to postpone the decision that have to be taken today itself. So implement the 24-hour rule. Wait 24 hours before making a large purchase. If we want to purchase a very big thing, a car or some other thing, means you just postpone the thing. Why? Because now then only we are able to take the right decision, whether it is needed or not, whether it is right or wrong, whether we are able to afford or not. So likewise, we are able to decide with the space given in the overnight. So the 24 rule will get the emotions to settle. Instead of buying a new phone immediately after seeing an ad, wait a day to decide if it is truly necessary. So, we can ask the questions for ourselves. Ask questions before sending. Do I really need this? How will this purchase impact my long-term goals? Create a financial plan. Next important thing is create a financial plan. Set clear financial goals like saving for a home or retirement can act as a mental checkpoint to prevent impulsive decisions. When tempted to buy a luxury item, remind yourself of your long term goal, like saving for a family vacation. And the next one is automative saving. Automative investments or saving removes emotional decision making from the process. And the next one is use tools to stay rational. Use apps. Now there are many apps founded in our Android mobiles, and the Excel sheet have been provided. So we have to use our phone, use of many apps like Mint, you need budget, Wine app, like our spreadsheets to track expenses. These types of apps helps us to maintain the budget, what they are spent, what they spend, what we are going to spend. So like this, we are able to plan for the future. This is very helpful for us to manage our day-to-day expenses, and also at the end of the month, we can know what are all the excessive expenses we spent in that month. Likewise, we can able to manage the things. We are able to create a budget. See, budgeting is the prior thing. We have to make them before spending the money. But these apps help us to show whether we follow the budget or not in that particular day or in that particular month. That will be very much helpful for us. Nowadays, we are doing the mistakes. We are delaying the decisions. We are not in a right way to seek more professional advice. Our emotions play a major role in our the financial decisions. If we go to a shop, our child is arguing with us to buy an inexpensive product, means we are in the mood to convince our child. We are not convincing the child. We are able to buy those things whatever they need, if it is affordable or not. We have to convince our emotions in that particular point. That shows, that is the first thing we start. Even from the children itself, it starts. What are all the things we need, we have to buy, whether it is needed or not, whether it is helpful or not, whether it is affordable or not. That are all the things which we are not able to discuss. So the external triggers, avoid external triggers. Promotional mates, avoid browsing shopping websites when feeling emotional. If you spend some time in your mobile phones, you see lots and lots of advertisements, lots and lots of purchases given. So people use to often spend more amount in the online purchasing. So social media often promotes lifestyle envy, leading to unnecessary spending. Seek emotional support. Emotional support. Discuss financial decisions with a trusted friend, family member, or financial advisor. Before making a big purchase, consult someone who can give objective advice. Practice stress management. Techniques like meditation or exercise can reduce emotional decision making driven by stress or anxiety. So, whatever the thing, we have to choose after some time that will helpful for them for a better decision. Learn from past decision. Review past mistakes. Think over the mistakes which I've done in the last month. That will be very helpful for us to no, not to do the same mistakes in the current month. So reflect on previous emotional financial decisions and their consequences. Analyze how panic selling on the investments affected your portfolio. Develop emotional awareness. Understand the emotions like fear or greed can cloud judgment. The tools and techniques for financial discipline. These are all the tools which we able to do the budget in your mobile phone itself. This will be helpful for us to spend the correct amount for the family. Even in our family, we follow this. It will be helpful for us for the future investment strategies we can able to follow. A budgeting apps and alerts. If you exceed your food budget for the month, encouraging mindful spending. The 50-30-20 rule. Allocate 50% of your income for the needs, 30% of your income for the wants, and the 20% of the savings or debt repayment. The benefits of dividing these types of income help us to provide a structured framework for managing money. The goal setting. Smart financial goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, instead of saying, I want to save money, set a goal like, I will save 5,000 every month for a year to build an emergency fund. See, create the thing, not decide the thing. Create everything that we have to do the thing every month. Once I got my salary, I can take 5,000 and save it as whatever the situation might be. I never touch that amount. That will be helpful for me when I reached any emergency situations. Then break down the goals. Divide large goals. Buying a home into smaller, manageable steps to maintain motivation. See, if we want to buy a home, we are not able to buy the home immediately. We can plan for that and we can afford for that. How much money you have to save, how much money you got from loan. If we got a loan, means we are in a situation to repay the loan. If our salary is affordable to repay the loan, whether it is affordable for us, for our family, whether it is needed or not, that should be decided. So dividing our main large goals into a manageable steps to maintain motivation. And the next one is automation for consistency. Set up automatic transfers to the savings account or investment plan each month, like EMIs which we have paid for the loan. Likewise, every month, set up a savings schemes that will be automatically credited from your account. That will be helpful for you to remove the temptation to spend money before saving. So first you have to save your money and then you have to going to spend the money, which are all the money with you left. So avoid late fees by scheduling automatic payments for recurring bills. Then track spending. What are expense trackers? Use tools like Spendy, Money Manager, or even simple spreadsheets to monitor daily expenses. Or else simply note down the expenses, what are all you people doing every day night, just go through or just write down the expenses which we do. So through that, when we go through the expenses for the 10 days, we know what are all the avoidable expenses that should be dealt with us. Monthly financial review. Regular review where money is being spent to adjust budgets and avoid overspending. Build emergency fund. A fund to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses for emergencies like jobless or medical issues. How to build it? Start small by saving a portion of your income every month in a separate account. Prevent reliance on credit cards or loans during emergencies. And the next one is debt management techniques. Pay off the smallest debts first while making minimum payments on large debts. Clearing small debts boosts confidence to tackle bigger one. Somebody did the opposite thing. That will be helpful for us too. Focusing on paying off debts with a high interest rate for save money on interest over time. That should be benefited for a long time investment. Lifestyle adjustment. Differentiate want versus needs. That is major difference between wants and needs. Buying a new smartphone every year may be a want, but that is not the need. A smartphone must be enough for the whole family. But every year we have to purchase the thing means that is not the want. That is not the need. That is a unwanted things. So embrace minimalism, reduce unnecessary purchase, and focus on living within the means. So these are all the tools and techniques for financial discipline. The financial strategies for financial success. According to this day session, how to manage the psychology with the personal finance. This is the major topic we are going to discuss with. So, what are all the psychological strategies we dealt with? What are all the negative strategies we dealt with? And now this is the time to reframe the success for the financial strategy. Uh, Set clear financial goals. These are the points which have to be clear in our mind. Set clear financial goals using the SMART framework. Automate savings to avoid emotional decision. Identify and address emotional triggers for spending. Embrace delayed gratification for long-term benefits and reframe risk and focus on informed financial decision. Finan- so, financial success is not about how much you earn, but how wisely you manage your money. Mastering your psychology is the first step of financial freedom. Now, this is the interactive session. See, this is the popular case study which I read for the psychology and very much interesting. In Walter Maslow's famous marshmallow experiment, children were given a choice between one marshmallow immediately, or if the children waited for 15 minutes, they will be offering two of marshmallow. What does this experiment teach us about self-control, delayed gratification, how these traits might influence success in life? Do you think these traits are shaped nature or nurture? So the solution for the problem is to relevance relevance. Delayed gratification predicts success in financial management. People who can postpone gratification tend to save more, invest wisely, and avoid impulse spending. Building an emergency fund or saving in retirement requires existing immediate spending. Self-control is crucial achieving long-term financial goals. So next case study. So like this, in each and every case study, there will be a financial problem. Through their psychological decision, what are all the mistakes they have done? That is the thing. In our second case study, Sarah sold a tech stock at a loss of $15,000 despite expert advice to hold it. Driven by her fear of further loss, what factors influence investment decisions like this, and how do emotions such as fear or greed impact financial choices? How can investors overcome these bias to make more decisions? And the solution for the problem is Sarah feared losing more money, even though holding the stock might have allowed it to recover. After some time, the stock price may hike. It will lead them to a very big profit. But her emotions like fear, greed, heavily impact financial decisions. Fear can lead to panic selling, as seen in the Sarah situation, while greed can cause overconfidence, can lead to risky investments. External factors such as media reports, market volatility, and peer pressure also play a significant role in influencing decision. And the next case study, David spending increased to match his higher income after receiving a 20% salary. In many examples, I've discussed about these things. When we got more amount, leaving him with little for savings, why do people often fall into this pattern? As a lifestyle inflation, and what strategies can be used to avoid it and prioritize financial stability? So, lifestyle inflation, emotional excitement from the rise lead David to spend more rather than saving or investing. Present buyers, he prioritized immediate gratification over future financial. So, the outcome of the problem is David struggled financially when faced with unexpected expenses. So, managing emotion triggers and maintaining a budget are essential to avoid overspending. Lisa's next problem is Lisa's online shopping during stressful periods leads to $5,000 in credit card debt on non-essential items over 3 months. Now the credit card is a very big problem for all the people. They easily swipe this credit cards and suffer a lot after the, even every month they have to pay the money. What psychological factors contribute to the kinds of behavior known as retail therapy? And what strategies can individuals use to manage stress and avoid falling into debt from impulse spending? So, in this problem, Lisa used shopping as a coping mechanism to elevate stress. The impulse buying, lack of planning lead to the financial overextension. So, the outcome of the problem is they struggled with the high interest credit card payments, adding financial stress. So, understanding the emotional triggers and practicing mindfulness can prevent impulsive financial behavior. And the last case study, which I have to convey, is Priya's fear of debt led her to decline a low rate interest business loan, causing her to miss a critical opportunity for business growth. How can entrepreneurs balance the risk and benefits of taking on debt? And what role does mindset and financial literacy play in making such decisions? So, in this case study, the debt aversion shall be clearly explained. Emotional fear of debt overshadowed rational analysis of its potential benefits. So, the outcome of the problem is her competitors gained market share while her business growth stagnated. Not all debt is bad. Understanding the difference between good and bad is key to financial growth. So, coming to the conclusion, throughout the session, we have seen how understanding a psychology pattern, such as why we procrastinate on saving or fear, taking calculated risk, can empower us to make more rational, confident, and informed financial decisions. Successful investors understand that while numbers and logic are crucial, managing emotions, reactions to market volatility is just as important. Financial success begins with small, consistent steps. Start today by setting clear goals, tracking your spending, and being mindful of your bias. Mastering the psychology of money is not about being perfect, but about being intentional. With the right mindset, tools, and strategies, you can achieve financial freedom and make confident investment choices. So, it is not just about how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the patience here shown.
You, ma'am, for your valuable insights on pertaining to the behavioral finance, behavioral biases that individual investors create while making an investment decision. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your insightful session.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
For organizing members, is there any feedback link? Kindly share the feedback link.
Okay. Any doubt clarification?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly share the feedback link, ma'am.